You ever chase a piece of your childhood you never got to hold? For me, it was this little silver box. You see, I never had one growing up. Everyone else did, but today, we're changing that. So let's see what all that hype's about 24 years later. I walked into my local pawn shop looking for cheap games and walked out with a Nintendo GameCube. Will it work? Who knows? But let's find out. So you're probably wondering what I paid for this GameCube. Controller, cords, and one memory card. They had $115 on it, but sold it to me for $100. It had some extra controllers, but they were definitely trashed. It needed a good cleaning, but for $100, I was happy to give it a new home. So as I mentioned earlier, I didn't have a GameCube growing up, and I skipped this console due to buying a PS2 and an original Xbox. So this is my first time playing any GameCube games. I'm looking forward to starting the journey of collecting GameCube games. What games do you guys think I should start with and pick up first? As you can see, I've got a couple of titles here, but I'm really looking forward to expanding and collecting more GameCube games. So let me know in the comments which games you guys would suggest I pick up first. Alright, so we discussed a little bit about picking up this Nintendo GameCube and buying it for $100. But do you really think that's all I picked up that day? No. There's more. Let's go through the rest of what I picked up that day while I was at the pawn shop. First game I picked up was Shadow Warrior for the Xbox One. I picked up this game because it's got a combination of guns and bladed weapons and seemed like an interesting game that I really wanted to try out. Have you guys played this game? If you have, drop me a comment in the comment section and let me know what your thoughts are. The next game I picked up was Life is Strange Before the Storm. I had heard a lot of really great things about this game. Don't currently have the Life is Strange collection in my collection, so I wanted to add this one to my collection because it was fairly inexpensive. The next game I picked up was Yooka-Laylee for the Xbox One. This looked like more of a kid style game, but kind of reminded me of a Crash Bandicoot style game, or, you know, those original PS1 titled games that kind of just bring you back and are kind of nostalgic for me. So I wanted to pick this game up for that reason. The next game I picked up was Sims 4, which has the bundle. I picked this game up because I really enjoyed the Sims games growing up. Played a couple of them, but I haven't played any of them recently, so I wanted to give this one a shot. The next game I picked up was Split Second for the Xbox 360. Picked up this game because it was a racing game. It was fairly inexpensive, it only cost me a couple dollars, so I wanted to add it to my collection. The last Xbox 360 game I picked up was Lost Odyssey. Again, I picked this one up because it seemed like a pretty challenging game. Kind of follows along those RPG elements and battle mechanics, so I wanted to give it a shot, see what it was all about. It's a game that I'm kind of most curious out of this group of games to start with, so let me know in the comment section if you've played this game and what your thoughts are. If it's a game that I should maybe wait a little while and play later on down the road, or if it's an exciting game that I should start with first. So next I ended up grabbing a Wii game, and that game was Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. I grabbed this game because I've got a couple of the other Lego Star Wars games, and I've been really curious about playing this one. So I'm going to try this one in the future and see what it's kind of all about. I'm a fan of Star Wars, so it's fitting, and a game that I really wanted to add to my collection. Last set of games that I ended up picking up were for the PlayStation 2. First game that I picked up was Smuggler's Run. Again, looked like a very interesting game. These are all games that I don't currently have in my collection, and so they're games that I wanted to purchase while they were inexpensive. The next game I grabbed was Trigger Man for the PlayStation 2. I remember playing this as a child, or when I was younger, and thought it was very interesting and liked the combat and the shooting mechanics in it. So, since I've been starting to collect more PS2 games, this is one that I didn't have in my collection right now, and wanted to go ahead and grab and add it to my collection. And the last game that I picked up for the PlayStation 2 was Future Tactics: The Uprising. Again, based on the back cover art, looked like a pretty interesting game. Thought I wanted to add it to my collection based on that, and see what it was all about. If you've played this game, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are, because I'm curious to see what you guys think. Alright, so let's wrap up today's finds. Overall, I'm really happy with this purchase. The GameCube that I got for $100, although it needed a good cleaning, is in working order. So I'm really happy with that purchase, because you normally don't find GameCubes for that cheap in my area. And so finding this at my local pawn shop, as dirty as it was, but I was able to clean it up, still gave me some great value, and I was able to add a GameCube console to my collection, which I didn't have at the time. So let's talk about the games. The games that I was able to add to my collection, I'm really kind of excited about. Games like Life is Strange, game that I've heard a lot about, heard a lot of great things about, and I'm able to play it. Lost Odyssey, I've heard a lot of great things about the combat and the mechanics in this game, so I'm curious to try it and see what it's all about. Also, Future Tactics, game that I didn't get to play as a child, but am looking forward to playing, as well as Trigger Man, a game that I did get to play as a child, and haven't played recently, but really looking forward to playing. So pawn shops really give us the ability to go in and find some cheap games that we don't have to pay a whole lot for, but can bring us back to that nostalgia era and bring us back to our childhood and allow us to play these games over and over again. And you know what? They're not expensive. So if it's a game that you pick up, you spend a couple bucks on, but you end up not liking it, I'm sure you can trade it back in at your local game shop. So what do you guys think? Did I get any great deals? If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe. Leave me a comment below if you've played some of these games and which game you think I should start with first. Until next time, happy gaming!